team to show your support for your players. So, guys, if you bet and supporting and are cheering on Wreckz, make your name blue.
Yeah.
And if you were supporting and cheering on and bet on Polarbearz, make your name a shade of green. Show that love. Show that support. You know, you got to show your colors, man. Whether it's, you know, it's the Super Bowl or it's the AirMech Bowl, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Show your colors, man. Green or blue. I don't want to see any colors in chat other than green or blue. Oh, Wreckz kills all of his units before the countdown starts.
Whoa.
He damaged them all up, but before the countdown is over, he destroyed them all for some reason, completely blowing. All that XP, all that time that he spent getting it just the right damage level. I don't know. He got impatient, or he just looked at the clock wrong, or I don't know what he did. I've never seen that before.
Yeah. Personally, I am rooting for Polarbearz here, but the last time that Wreckz and Polarbearz actually faced off against each other, which was in the face-off tournament, Wreckz did win the best out of like 7 or something series, so that's worth noting. And he is going to be taking this bottom outpost faster than Polarbearz.
This is, I think, something that, I mean, I remember I was, I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago or something, but I remember both of these names were in your queue, and I was pushing so hard for these two players to go head-to-head, and it never wound up happening. Because this is a redo of the entire finals of the face-off tournament. The only real major tournament that was ever done in the community, not sponsored by Carbon. And in the end, this was one of the maps that Wreckz just had to go balls to the wall to win against Polarbearz.
Wreckz is doing so much damage against Polarbearz' Osprey right now with that Lexi strike.
Perfect, using the ledge for transform to get Polar just up into the air, secure the kill. Ladies and gentlemen, first blood going to Wreckz in this match, starting this off with an incredible bang, 20-19 upkeep, but with Polar being down for that time and already being level 3, that was a long enough respawn that at least gave Wreckz a small opportunity to do some damage to those units on this end. At this point, though, it's still anybody's game. This is, I am so pumped for this, man.
Wreckz has been trying so far to actually really snipe that those jammers, so his RDs can do full damage to this tank mass. But on the other hand, Polarbearz is just running Buckies and not RDs or Archies.
Well, because he didn't bring them. He only brought Burke.
Yeah.
So he's got to get all the way up to level 6. 2 levels away before he can ever get that artillery online.
Yeah.
If Wreckz can dominate this bottom lane before level 6, he'll probably win just because of that. But if Polar can hit level 6 fast enough and bring those Berthas online, this could go completely in the opposite direction.
Yeah, in Javadi chat, they were actually discussing the fact that Polarbearz would be running Buckies instead of Arties and Archies, and Wreckz also prepared for the Mako Osprey there, so interesting seeing him. Although he didn't actually go for the Bucky counter that was planned, so.
Well, so far I don't think it's hurting him too much. I mean,
right
now in this map, Wreckz has a lot of domination, and Polarbearz so close to death. Does Wreckz get him once again? Can he use a ledge transform, or are those Buckies just going to be too much?
He almost died.
And almost dies in the process. He has to go back and recharge. Polar will survive. However, Wreckz is now level 5. Polar just hitting level 5, where Wreckz has been level 5 for a while.
That grinder.
This is not going in the way that Polarbearz has planned at all. Wreckz moves up just far enough to get his tanks in range, but stops them before they start spreading out, making them very vulnerable. He still keeps them grouped up close together. Polarbearz really needs to try to come up with a different type of strategy, because unfortunately right now, these Buckies against this many Geminis and a Wreckz striker with Lexi as a pilot is just not working. Polarbearz close to death, no energy. Wreckz is just waiting for him to get up in the air. They get up and he survives, but oh my god. Dude,
and this is just one of the things that makes Lexi Striker so strong. It's able to do, because Polarbearz, he barely has enough energy on he doesn't have enough energy on the outpost to keep himself healed up against Wreckz, let alone healing his own units. So Wreckz is like, even if he doesn't get a kill on Polarbearz, he still wins out in the end because it stops Polar from healing his own units in the process.
And at the same time, right now, Polarbearz is in a terrible position Almost a 4-to-1 upkeep advantage in favor of Wreckz. Polarbearz hitting level 6, but his income is so low, he cannot bring those birthday cannons online. He cannot afford them. He's only got basically 4 Geminis as an entire defensive line, and that's it. This is unfortunate for Polarbearz,
Wreckz might go down to a Gemini.
He does. The Geminis get the kill.
That healing was OP. Wait, Polarbearz might be able to make a comeback out of this while Wreckz is dead if Wreckz doesn't respawn fast enough.
He is using buyback.
He's microing these Osprey. He's an Osprey. He's microing these tanks up. Oh, lost one of his own Gemini in the process. But he's killed a lot of Wrex's Gemini because if we look at the unit numbers, Polarbearz actually has more Gemini than his opponent now. He might have less upkeep, but.
I mean, Wreckz had to use so much money to try to get buyback, to try to get back into this game, but it still just took him so long for the respawn on there that it did give Polarbearz some advantage. But now if Polarbearz goes down, it will completely reshift back into Wrex's favor. But Polarbearz levels up, and it will keep him alive. Oh my god.
Whoa, okay. It's worth noting that...
Just, whoa. Okay there, Neo. Take it easy, man.
Yeah, so Polarbearz has enough units. Like, when we saw that, Polarbearz actually was able to stay... Oh, he's going to die now. Yeah. Polarbearz managed to actually... was able to stay on the ground and stay still long enough to do a little auto-regenning. Despite the fact that Wreckz was flying above him, just because Polarbearz had enough units at that time to actually get away with that. But now that Polar's dead, there's nothing healing up his Gemini anymore. Well, Wreckz...
It's just a complete wipe down here.
Yeah.
The entire bottom lane will completely go to Wreckz. Polar will either have to make a last stand back at his other outposts and his base, or try to break through the top lane, or use the massive carry capabilities of the Osprey to try to just ninja drop at this point, because this bottom lane is pretty much lost to him.
If he does a drop, though, Wreckz can just push out with that tank army that he just created, so that's also a problem for Polar. So he's like living with this one last Gemini right now. Earlier, when at the time he killed Wreckz, like, he was so behind unit wise, but he was able to kind of stay in by constantly healing his tanks. But once he died, like, all of a sudden his entire army just melted at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, and that really goes to show the difference in dying of, like, when you're up against, say, just, an average player versus going up against a real knowledgeable player. Deaths are extremely costly because the other player can massively take advantage of that. Even if it's just 10, 15, 20 seconds downtime, it's a tremendous amount of time if you know how to properly take advantage of it. And as we've seen in this match, and for anyone that knows Wreckz, knows that that he is very much capable of taking advantage of those situations. Unfortunately, Polarbearz has just died a little bit too much. I mean, 3 deaths in the match. It's given Wreckz a lot of extra space, a lot of breathing room.
That's something that also makes what Wreckz is doing right now, playing Lexi Striker, that's something that makes it so powerful, actually. For really experienced players like Wreckz, it allows them to basically kill anyone they want really quickly. Doesn't matter if they're a paladin or a warthog, they will die if they accidentally stay still a little too long. And
Wreckz now preparing for that final push. He's selling off all the remaining artillery cannons, turning them into grinders or tanks or seekers or whatever the case might be. And it's probably the right choice from that, but at the same time, there's really not much that he has to worry about. Literally, there is nothing out on the battlefield itself for Polar. He has 5 grinders in his queue ready to be deployed once the push comes in. If, though, somehow Polar can pull out those grinders and completely destroy the push, that will destroy everything that Wreckz has on the battlefield and can completely get Polar back into this game. So the fact that he is sitting on those grinders is, if it works for him, it will be the best thing that he could do. However, Wreckz, pre-planning for it, has 4 grinders of his own, 2 more in the queue. And once you get grinder on grinder action and they just start grinding each other, well, then that's when this stops being a PG-13.
At first I thought that the amount of grinders in Polarbearz queue might be able to turn the thing around, but Wreckz is queuing up grinders too, and he has 4 on the field and 3 in queue, while his opponent Polarbearz has 6 in Q and 1 on the field, so they have the same amount of grinders in Q and in play when added together. So,
and there we go. It finally worked itself out. Wreckz had a major lag spike there for a while, slowing everything down. We even slowed it down so much that we've actually caught up in real time to the players, which is sometimes never a good sign. That could be maybe some of the problems that Polarbearz was having that also led to some of his deaths. Is, you know, we didn't see the lag until this point, but if we've caught up to them in real time, then that means that they've been dealing with this lag.
Looks like Polar's going to die again, actually.
That he does, and
here's that grinder versus grinder action you were talking about.
Ooh, I need some appropriate music to go along with that, man.
You need some inappropriate music to go along with that.
You know what? Screw it. I have... Wait. Where is it? Give me a second here. I have something to go along with that, too, because, you know, I've kind of planned for almost everything.
Is that going to get the stream muted in the VOD, though?
Maybe, but that's why I also locally record them at the same time as well. I just have to find it. Just have to find it. Oh, man, I have too much stuff. Here we go. Okay. Here we go, folks. Enjoy. Actually, I should wait for this. No, hang on. I should wait for that until we actually have the grinder on grinder action, and then I'm just going to play that just for the fun of it.
Yeah, because the grinder on grinder action that we saw previously had ended when... Well, actually, it looks like a tiny bit of it might restart soon, but never mind.
Alright, so taking a look here, I mean, Polar he was trying to break through the top. It was a good idea, but he got scouted out by Wreckz.
Here's the grinder on grinder action here.
Oh, there we go.
Well, okay, so it looks like what Polar's going... No, he's going to survive, but this outpost can't sustain... You see, the outpost regeneration energy is actually less than Wreckz's damage output. That's just kind of a problem that, in my opinion, just shouldn't be happening. Like, it's also, I guess, not a good thing to have immortal ospreys that can heal everything, too. And that's what happens when the heal rate goes too high, but when the energy regenerate is too low, you have, well, strikers that can kill anything, even if it's on an outpost. So, yeah, whoa. Talk about grinder and grinder action. There's tons of them back there.
Oh, I know, man.
And there's a few ratchets, too. They make this a lot more ratchet, so... How sad. Wait, I think Polar's grinders are going to win this.
Providing some extra lubrication so that way the grinder can keep spinning. Keeping it all nice and oiled up. So that way the engine doesn't seize up.
Okay, looks like okay. Actually, Wreckz is going to win that. Wait, that was just a... Okay, Polar's actually going to survive that, but honestly, like, he barely survived that because he was trying to salvage the parts. I mean, not the parts, the grinders. But like, he had to stay like almost still at that time, and so he took a lot of damage in the process. So Wreckz has this huge advantage right now. He has three outposts ahead of Polar right now. Honestly, if it wasn't for these grinders here, I feel like this game would have ended a lot faster.
Oh yeah, I mean, Wreckz is completely like forgotten about the fortress at this point. It's just strictly all about the grinder action now, man. Fortress? What fortress? It's just get your grind on, man.
Yeah, fortress. Yeah, I feel like Wreckz is trying to target this. Like, then again, Polar's also doing a good job of like forcing him to do this, because honestly, if Wreckz just leaves him, if Wreckz just left him with 6 grinders in his queue, that would be pretty hard to push into. But it looks like Wreckz is going to actually... Well, it looks like Wreckz's grinders were chasing some of Polar's creeps, and they managed to go all the way to Polar's new outpost here.
I'm just so busy looking at this spot right here, man. This is just... To me, this is where the entire game is right now. And I think mostly everyone is having a good laugh, too, at the same time. But we do have a push actually coming out. Wreckz finally realizing, you know what, I'm really fighting over something that doesn't matter. And now that he got Polarbearz to devote so much of his money and resources into grinders to deal with that power station that really, in the end, is not going to make a difference. Wreckz realizes, you know what, let's just bring it in.
Wreckz getting domination in now. So after like an hour of grinder on grinder action, there's the domination.
Dude, you wish you could handle in that. Shut up, Steve. An hour my ass diss with the fact that you were involved, it was over in 60 seconds. Oh, hashtag burn!
Okay, so that is a lot of grinders though. I'm not sure what Polar was trying to do with Bucky's against that, though, because the grinders, well, they just, like...
It was all he could afford to deploy. I mean, it's either that or just sit over your base and die.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me almost of Command & Conquer Red Alert, where tanks can actually run over infantry. I just saw those grinders, like, go straight through the Bucky's there, and, like, the Bucky's just died instantly. But